to showcase himself. And all he does is talk about what you do.
Well, they really don't want him. They really want me on the show, so they got a guy who's my imitator to do the show.
But he's playing right into it.
Right, yeah.
That's funny. Well, people want me to comment. I'll tell you what.
All right, let's hear.
Stern.
All right, here we go. Here's the comment.
All right, here's the big
Okay, good. Let's hear the original material. Here's the material. Get ready, everyone. Get ready to laugh. He's going to really give it to me now.
It couldn't have happened to a nicer person. And what goes around comes around. You are a dirtbag, dressing up like a little girl, having whores spank you, and you wonder why your marriage went bad? And the only thing that frightens me is your poor daughters now have to date the animals, the men that listen to your show as you degrade women.
He does it. He does my exact show. Does my exact show. He does my exact show. All right, so here's the big material.
You're a disgrace. You are an animal.
But why are you an imitator? If I'm
why would you go out and do the same thing?
At least the guys who imitate Elvis go, hey, I idolize Elvis.
Right.
He does my exact show, spanks women, does the whole thing, and then goes on the air and goes, it's a disgraceful show.
You're an idiot. That's why.
Gus, please go away.
So that you can have a career.
Yeah, he can move right in there. And
Please,
over everything.
every word enunciated, please
go
away so I could have a career and be as successful as you. Steve Dahl in Chicago wrote me a very nice note, actually, and said, gee, I was sorry to hear about your wife and, and you. And I wonder what it'd be like to have, a third of the audience you have, it must be amazing. And what did he say? He basically just said he thought that the show was very classy on Monday and that the explanation of what happened must have been painful, but yet,
not you.
For what it's worth, I thought that you handled a very complicated and difficult situation with great dignity and respect for your family. I'm no you, but I do have some ideas how hard it is to do what we do and maintain a normal family life. As a matter of fact, I recently just figured out how to do it for myself. I hope things work out for you, and I know that you are way low about this, but in my humble experience, change always brings about good things. Which, that's fine. That's fine. This guy,
he just can't. It's
eating
him alive.
It's eating all the young guys.
Life.
Yeah, I mean, they just can't bear it.
He has no career.
I know, they can't bear it.
Yeah.
He's me, but he just can't. And then all of a sudden he finally gets on TV because they're asking about me.
Because of you.
No pity for you.
Well, I have, listen, your daddy, who was my bitch, and still is in death, because he became my bitch because you're a Howard Stern imitator. Your daddy died, his cancer-riddled body was filled with the knowledge that you're a Howard Stern imitator. That's how he had to die. So when I dig up his grave and have sex with his maggot-infested body, he will love it, because at least he's next to Howard Stern, who his son worships. And you are my bitch. You've always been my bitch. All my imitators are my bitches. And your father's rotting corpse has more talent than you. And I feel bad for your father. He had to die knowing that you have not one creative bone in your body, that you built your career being Howard Stern. And he died of embarrassment. He didn't die of cancer. You keep kidding yourself. He got cancer because he was embarrassed by his dwarf son.
That was a convenient excuse.
And you can grow a beard and a mustache, but you still look like you're 9 years old. He was glad he got cancer. Do you know what it's like to live with a son who's such a loser? Cancer was the best thing. I'm sure he would have shot himself if he didn't get cancer, because he had to live with the embarrassment that his son's whole career was imitating Howard Stern, you stupid ass. He was dancing when he got cancer. He called me. He said, my Lord, Howard Stern, thank God I have cancer. I don't have to live another day to see my stupid-ass son do a bad impression of you.
I don't even want treatment.
I don't want treatment. He turned down chemotherapy. He said, I'm dancing. I can finally die, and I don't have to live embarrassed. He says, I'd rather see my son performing fellatio in a gangbang flick on men than to live with the knowledge that my son can't come up with his own act. So your dad, your dad would have been less embarrassed if you were a gay crack addict. He was doing a jig the day he died. He died happy, knowing that he didn't have to look at you anymore. Imagine you're the father of a Howard Stern imitator. Guess what my son does for a living? He pretends to be Howard Stern and acts like he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, because probably what happens is he goes out and he says, he used to say, yeah, my son works on the radio. Well, what does he do? Oh, he does this well. Oh, like Howard Stern.
Yeah. And I would rather have my daughters date the animals in my audience than date a Howard Stern imitator. You douchebag. Your father died a happy death because he doesn't have to stare at the Howard Stern imitator he spawned. His midget son, his daddy was a midget too. But he was just as glad to end it all. He was like, please, cancer, eat my body. And he whispered in my ear before he died, please dig up my body and have sex with me every day. And I just haven't gotten to Chicago to do that, or wherever that damn corpse is buried. Oh, that's so funny. He died with a smile on his face. You know what it is to live with the embarrassment of having your son be a Howard Stern imitator? And those two retards in New York who do the afternoons, the Howard Stern imitators, are busy commenting on me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my company. They hire everybody. I got plenty to say about that. We grew up listening to Howard. Douchebags. All of them. Can't admit it. Howard Stern imitator. Can't admit it. Can't admit what they do for a living. It's the Howard Stern tribute show. Douchebags. And this company that I work for, their whole philosophy is, well, let's get more Howard Sterns. We'll acquire every one of them. It's goddamn frightening. Let's have a 24-hour marathon of people commenting on Howard, doing shows about Howard, tribute shows. But as far as that imbecile in Chicago goes, his daddy was my bitch. He's happy. He's dead. He doesn't have to suffer the humiliation anymore. I remember when his father almost electrocuted himself, snipping the electrical cord to his son.